Hello, this is Kim Ki-hyun from Richgo. Today is August 27th, and as I walked around a bit, I noticed that the scent of autumn is starting to emerge. Just a little while ago, it was really hot during the day, but after taking a short walk for lunch today, it feels like the fragrance of autumn is approaching. Everyone, there is not much time left until 2024. We have exactly 4 months left: September, October, November, and December. That's still 1/3 of the year remaining. At the beginning of 2024, many of you probably made resolutions and commitments, so I encourage you not to lose focus and to work hard in these remaining 4 months to achieve the good results you initially aimed for. Now, let's move on to today's weekly real estate briefing. As I mentioned earlier, the government has recently tightened its stance quite suddenly. There are ongoing discussions about loan regulations, and the interest rates for mortgage loans are continuously rising, along with restrictions on John's loans. A lot of information is coming out, which leads me to believe that many people will likely continue their research until the end of August. I expect that by September, the data will gradually change. And after the Chuseok holiday, I think the data will change significantly. I am conducting quarterly seminars on the real estate market outlook, and I believe that this upcoming fourth quarter will be extremely important. I have been telling our VIP membership members that by the end of this year or early next year, we will likely know whether there will be a gradual decline or a sharp drop. Currently, I see a higher probability of a sharp decline rather than a gradual one around next year. When looking at the long-term pattern, it is very similar to the autumn of 2021. The autumn of 2024 is quite comparable to that of 2021. You might remember that I issued significant warnings back then, and you probably recall the tremendous crash in the real estate market in the second half of 2022. I believe there is a high possibility that a similar situation will occur in 2024 and 2025, and it could potentially be even more severe than I initially anticipated. Whether this will happen or not can be assessed by looking at various indicators that will be released at the end of this year and in January or February of next year. Originally, I had scheduled a real estate market outlook seminar for September 28th, right after Chuseok. But upon further consideration, I realized that data would be released on September 27th, and that week is also Chuseok. So, it seems that the data may not be properly aggregated. Therefore, I changed this to October 12. On October 12, I will discuss the future outlook of the real estate market, which is a very important topic Since we will be doing this, I think it would be good for those interested to refer to the pinned comment and apply. Now, let's take a look at the recent weekly trends in the real estate market. As you can see, Seoul is moving up to the right, indicating that the supply and demand for sales and Jeonse are gradually improving, although the increase is not significant. Incheon is also moving up to the right, as is Gyeonggi Province. Areas like Chungbuk, Jeonbuk, Gangwon Province, and Ulsan are all showing similar upward trends. However, regions such as Gwangju, Jeonnam, Jeju, Gyeongnam, Busan, Daegu, and Sejong are still not performing well. Nevertheless, including the metropolitan area, Chungbuk, Jeonbuk, Gangwon Province, and Ulsan are showing improvements in both sales and Jeonse. This data is from August, and it's important for you to understand the timing. The date I am filming this is August 27th, but the statistics were released on August 23rd. The data was compiled on August 19th, based on the previous week, specifically from around August 12th to August 17th. So, this video reflects the situation as of mid-August, and there is roughly a 1 to 2 week difference from the current situation. You can consider this as the most up-to-date data. Let's take a look at Seoul. In Seoul, we see that the sales profits have risen slightly, then dropped, and are now rising again. It has shown an upward trend for 2 consecutive weeks. The buying pressure, indicated in red, is not so much due to an increase in buying activity, but rather a decrease in selling pressure, which is why we are seeing this situation. As a result, the buying momentum can no longer rise like before, and homeowners are thinking that they should not sell at this time, which is leading to an improvement in cash flow. The demand for Jeonse is still continuously improving, and the volume of new move-ins in the first, second, and third quarters is very low. However, starting from the fourth quarter, a significant number of new move-ins are expected in Seoul, which will likely change the Jeonse demand from that point onward. Looking at Gyeonggi Province, the supply and demand is also continuously improving, with the demand for sales increasing and the number of sellers decreasing, while the number of buyers is gradually rising. The Jeonse demand is also improving. This indicates that the market remains hot up until mid-August. In Incheon, the buying momentum is no longer strong, and the selling pressure has not increased significantly, with only the Jon's demand rising. Currently, the sales demand in Incheon is somewhat hovering at a peak, while the Jon's demand continues to improve. The volume of new move-ins in Incheon is also decreasing, which is contributing to the rise in Jon's demand. Therefore, the atmosphere remains positive in Seoul, Incheon and Gyeonggi province up until around mid-August. And because of these government policies related to loans, I think for the time being, until the end of August. So when will the data come out? At the end of August. It should come out in mid-September, right? So, according to the data, I will probably be filming around mid-September. The data from the end of August will be released on September 6th, and I expect to film around September 10th, which is the week before Chuseok. By then, the data will likely be available. The data for September will be captured on September 9th and should be released on September 13th. After Chuseok, I will probably film again, but we will only know the atmosphere of the first week of September after Chuseok. I'm quite looking forward to seeing how the data will change in September. In terms of movement, there hasn't been much change in Chungbuk, Seoul, Gyeonggi province, or Incheon, but Chungbuk has seen significant movement to the right. As you can see, the supply and demand for sales have increased significantly, and the selling pressure has decreased compared to the previous week. Buying activity is reviving, and the Jeonse supply is also improving. So, the atmosphere in Chungbuk is getting better, and Jeonbuk is also clearly improving, with a significant decrease in selling pressure and the Jeonse supply remaining stable. Now, almost all data is improving, and the place I'm most optimistic about is Ulsan. If you check my videos, you can see when I started talking about Ulsan, Ulsan is getting hotter and hotter, and the Jeonse supply continues to improve. As long as there are no major fluctuations in the economy or a sharp decline in the metropolitan market, Ulsan is likely to keep rising in the future. For those interested in purchasing a home in Ulsan, subscribing to the Richgo YouTube membership will allow you to see appropriate home buying options by region, which could be beneficial. In Jeju, the atmosphere is not good, particularly in the southern and western areas. In Jeonnam, Gwangju is also facing challenges. Although the Jeonse supply and demand in Gwangju is not bad, however, the sales market in Gwangju remains weak. In Jeonnam, the sales market has slightly improved, but the Jeonse market is currently experiencing a downturn in supply. Moving on to Chungnam, I see a very high potential for improvement in this area. The sales supply and demand had been improving, but has recently dropped slightly, while the Jeonse supply remains stable. I anticipate that Chungnam will start to see a significant upward trend around next year. Gyeongnam has also seen a slight decline in Jeonse supply. In Daejeon, the sales supply has improved slightly, and the Jeonse supply is maintaining a steady level. The worst areas currently are Busan, Daegu, and Sejong. In Busan, the sales market is still not recovering at all, but fortunately, the Jeonse supply is improving gradually, leading to some stabilization in the Jeonse market. Daegu has also seen a slight decline in Jeonse supply, with only a minor improvement in sales supply, which is not significant. It seems that Daegu will need to wait until next year for a more noticeable improvement. Now, what about Sejong? The supply and demand for Jeonse in Sejong has worsened. While the supply and demand for sales has slightly improved, it seems that by next year, there will be many areas that have hit rock bottom and are ready to turn into a major trend. Therefore, it looks like there will be a lot of good areas for purchasing a home appropriately next year, so it would be wise to pay close attention to next year. Next, we will further subdivide the regions to look at Gangnam and Gangbuk. In the case of Gangnam, how is it? The supply and demand for sales has decreased, but it has improved now. This is not because there are more buyers than before, but because the number of sellers wanting to sell has decreased. So, while the number of people wanting to sell has gone down, the number of buyers has increased slightly, but it is still not more than before. So, this is why the supply and demand for sales has increased now. In other words, this is the situation. As the number of people looking to buy has quieted down a bit, the market has cooled off somewhat. However, from the perspective of sellers, there seems to be an expectation that prices might rise further, leading to a situation where some listings are being withdrawn and not sold. In Gangnam, the supply and demand for Jeonse appears to have plateaued and is no longer rising significantly. In contrast, the situation in Gangbuk is different. While Gangnam has seen a slight recovery in sales demand, Gangbuk's demand continues to decline. This indicates that Gangbuk has already reached its peak and is now falling. As you can see, the sales demand in Gangbuk is also fluctuating. While Gangnam is heating up again, Gangbuk seems to be lagging behind. Now let's take a look at the transaction trend data. It's important to consider not just supply and demand, but also transaction activity. So, does the transaction volume follow the supply and demand? Supply indicates whether there are more sellers or buyers, while transaction trends show whether the market is active or sluggish. In Seoul, the supply has improved, but transactions have decreased. Now let's see if transactions have increased or not. They have not increased, even though there has been a slight rebound in supply. Transactions are not increasing, which means that the trading volume is not gaining momentum. It is likely that there will be some maintenance until August, but looking at September, it seems that there will be a decline starting then, and after the Chuseok holiday, there will be a significant drop. By mid to late October, or early November, I expect to see a downward movement in prices as well. On the other hand, Jeonse transactions have increased slightly. In Gyeonggi Province and Incheon, the numbers have risen significantly. Gyeonggi Province is seeing an increase in both sales and Jeonse transactions, and Incheon is also experiencing growth in both areas, with Incheon showing the highest increase in trading volume. Therefore, while transactions in Seoul are somewhat stagnant, it appears that trading is picking up in Gyeonggi Province and Incheon. This is likely because Seoul is more expensive, making it harder to buy there, leading to increased transactions in the more affordable Gyeonggi Province and Incheon. As for Ulsan, it is also on the rise, with both sales and Jeonse transactions increasing compared to last week. Chungbuk has also seen significant movement, with both sales and Jeonse transactions increasing considerably. Overall, Chungbuk looks quite promising. In Chungnam, while the supply was not great earlier, the transactions are currently doing well. Gyeongnam is also seeing good trading activity. In Sejong, both sales and Jeonse transactions have slightly decreased compared to last week. Jeonbuk has also seen a slight decline, but Jeonse transactions have increased. In Daegu, transactions are gradually increasing, showing some signs of improvement. In Gwangju, however, sales transactions have decreased further, while Jeonse transactions have increased, indicating a negative trend in the market. Daejeon and areas like Gangwon Province have also experienced a decline in both Jeonse and sales transactions. Jeju has shown almost no change. Overall, in regions like Jeju, Jeonnam, Daejeon, Gangwon, Gwangju, and Gyeongbuk, both sales and Jeonse transaction volumes are quite low. The most active transactions are occurring in Seoul, Gyeonggi Province, and Incheon, where the metropolitan area has a significant amount of activity. Chungnam, Chungbuk, and Ulsan are also seeing an increase in transactions, with Gyeongnam showing a slight rise as well. The rest of the regions are relatively stagnant. Based on the data, areas expected to perform well in the future include Ulsan and Chungnam, where the price bubble is not as severe as in the metropolitan area. Why is there so much speculation? Where are the highest Jeonse prices? The highest Jeonse prices are in the metropolitan area. If we consider the fundamental value, the prices for sales and Jeonse are the same. The only difference between these two is the psychology of investment or speculation. That's the only thing that differs. Everything else is the same. However, the actual utility value of Jeonse is this much, while the sales price is extraordinarily high. What does this mean? It means that sales are overvalued compared to Jeonse. Therefore, the current real estate situation in the metropolitan area, especially in Seoul and Gangnam, has a lot of bubbles. This is one of the strong reasons I assert that these bubbles must burst. If it were truly a desirable place to live, the Jeonse prices should follow the increase in sales prices, but that absolutely cannot happen. So, I urge you to think carefully. In October 2021, I strongly warned that it was a rare selling opportunity that comes once in 10 years. After that, what happened in early 2023? What happened in early 2022? There were almost no transactions. And what happened in the second half of 2020? There was a tremendous crash. I reiterate, as we approach September 2024, this moment is similar to when we were in August 2021. It is very similar to 2021 right now. So, is it similar to 2022 and 2025? It is very similar. And do you remember? Due to the decline in 2022, many people have experienced serious traffic issues. Therefore, just because prices are rising again now, it doesn't mean it's a good thing. In fact, the current rise makes it even riskier. We need to manage these risks, especially for those who have recklessly jumped on this upward trend and made purchases. It is crucial to be cautious moving forward. I urge you to find ways to protect your valuable assets. This concludes today's video, and I will return with more good content next time. Thank you. Checklist investment check 2.0 has been updated this time, so you can enter the coupon for the Gyeongbuk, Additionally, as the era of auctions is approaching, we have created an opportunity for you to experience auctions for free. You can enter the Guy on auction code for this. Now, how do you register the coupon? If you go here, you will find My on the home page. You can go to My from the home page. Let me turn on the Richgo app and explain it a bit. Is this event only happening for 1 month? Now, if you go into the Richgo home, the PC screen and the app look similar. Here, you will see the profile section. Click on the profile and then it will appear. From here, you can enter the auction product coupon or the membership coupon code. You can input the coupon code here. For the investment check, use the investment check code. And for the auction experience, use the auction option code. I will also put this in a pinned comment, so please try it out. It will be very helpful for your real estate decision making.